So Colorado, in good hands, I would say, right? I'm not sure about Deion's X's and O's. I mean, it was Jackson State, right? We don't know exactly, right? But I'll tell you what, he's going to bring talent, right? According to him, he's quote bringing luggage, and it's Louis, right? Like he's bringing the dudes. But I think this is going to invoke a lot of criticism, and a lot of people changing, in the transfer portal, and coaches going here and there, right? I know a lot of people, especially those who are really like strapped to tradition, they're not going to like this. They're not a fan. So I want to take this moment to speak to one of those people that probably aren't very smart. They must be rigid and, to be quite honest, dumb. I'm just going to say it, actually. Brian from YouTube, welcome. You are my first victim. You are an idiot. You're just not smart. You're not smart, right? And I feel comfortable saying that to you because, well, you came at me personally, right? Like, I love when people comment, but don't come at me, right? Like, let's keep it about the content. Don't come at me. Or you kept it about the content at first, then you came at me, right? So I'm going to come at you, and then I'm going to hit you with facts and make you look even stupider. Can you say stupider word? Whatever. More stupid. Maybe I'm dumb as well, but not as dumb as you. Anyway. And Brian, before you say anything, shut your mouth. Shut your mouth for a second. Shut your mouth. Who has almost 2,000 on YouTube? Not you. Not you. Okay? Who has over 1 million views? Not you. Not you, Brian. Not you. All right? And who has an entire segment on a real, legitimate podcast, by the way, top 20%. Thank you, Spotify. Wrapped, what's up? Has an entire segment of hits and misses in which I outline explicitly where I'm right about major things. Okay, so now before you say anything, just remember that stuff, okay? You should go watch it. You probably learn a thing or two. So, Brian, let's take part one of your rant, right? Big paragraph comment, right? You say Harbaugh lost 5 straight to OSU. Okay, fair. So you're referencing 2015 through 2019. That's five games. So college football genius here, Brian, right? Expert Brian. Did you think to research it? Of course not. Of course you didn't. Why would you? So let's look at what Harbaugh was working with. Let's just look at recruiting classes. Let's start in 2012. And here's why. Because by 2015, those are the juniors and seniors that are actually contributing, right? It's not like basketball where there's a lot of one and dones. You'll get the occasional one and done, but it's mostly juniors and seniors contributing. So we'll start in 2012. Michigan 6th, Ohio State 5. Michigan 4, Ohio State 2. Michigan 20th, Ohio State 3. Michigan 37th, Ohio State 7. Michigan 7, Ohio State 4. Michigan 5, Ohio State 2. 22-2, 10-7, 12-5, 13-2. You get the point, right? That's all the way up through 2019. You get my point, right? Harbaugh did lose to Ohio State with a bad culture inherited by Brady Hoke and clearly less talent. It's right there. Significantly less talent, Brian. He still doesn't even have his ideal talent. He still isn't pulling the recruits he wants, and he's still waxing the floor with Ohio State in the last couple years. Waxing the floor. It's not even been competitive in the last 5 minutes of the game. That's called coaching. That's called coaching, Brian. Right? Imagine if he also got 7 5-stars walking right into his program yearly, right? Like Ryan Day does. No, he's got like 2 to 3. He's got 2 to 3. Ryan Day's got like 7, 8, 9, 10 every single year walking right into his building. He could field almost an entire side of the ball with just 5 stars. Seriously. That's called coaching. How you can take lesser players and beat better players. Right? It's called scheming and coaching and culture. Next thing you say is, oh, the Vikings didn't want him. I guess that's fair, but who said he wanted them all that much? Sure, I mean, he showed interest, right? But let's also look, very comfortable in Michigan. Finally, he's got a really good staff assembled. He's comfortable with his staff. He's got momentum against Ohio State. He's near his family. He's already played in Michigan. He's comfortable there. He doesn't have to deal with an NFL locker room. That's a difficult locker room to deal with right there. There's a reason that not a lot of coaches make it at the next level. Be careful trying to get happier than happy. Right? He was happy there. And finally, for some reason, Brian, I don't understand this one because this is where you really went off the rails. You jump right to Brian Kelly, which is fine because I guess I referenced him in the video, but let's keep it out one thing at a time for future reference. You apparently disagree with my take that Brian Kelly's a really good coach. So let's check that part out. I'm like laughing because it's actually crazy. So let's start with his first job. He goes to Central Michigan. So they were 3-8 before he took over. 3-8. He takes them to 4-7, 6-5, 9-4. Yeah, that seems like that worked out from 3-8 to 9-4 in just 3 years. I got it. But so then he leaves for Cincinnati. He inherits a 4-7 team. 10-3, 11-3, 12-0, 12-0. 3 years, 12-0. How about Notre Dame? 3-7, 7-6, 6-6. Toxic culture with Charlie Weiss. Those are 3 years prior to he got there. Nah, he'll fix it. 8-5, 8-5, 12-1. National championship, 12-1. Ends with one losing season in 11 years. 11. In Notre Dame, where half of your recruits, actually I would say even over half, 75% of your recruits can't even get in because of the academics. Look who LSU was. They're 6-7. Yeah, Ed Ogeron was not the best coach. Recruiting was shaky. No, they're 9-4. They went to the SEC championship game. Brian, you're a fool. You're an absolute fool, buddy. I mean, look, it's fine to be wrong. But I mean, let's learn. Let's adapt. Let's learn and grow together, Brian. So I'm excited to see what point you have to comment on this one, right? Go look at Harbaugh's recruiting. Go look at, I don't know, every stop that Brian Kelly's been at. Actually, if you don't think Harbaugh's that good of a coach, go look at every stop he's been at. San Diego turned that around. How about he goes to the NFL, the harder place to coach, right? San Francisco. That's right. They just went to a Super Bowl. It's nothing crazy. They just went to a Super Bowl. That's right. And then I just showed you what he did with Michigan. All right, he's a good coach. And so, any slander for Harbaugh, not with it. Not with it. Unless you back it up with facts. Back it up with facts. Yeah, besides your lost 5 straight. Go look at what he's dealing with. Back it up with facts. Do some research, Brian. You come back to me. For now, though, let's step off, buddy. Step off, all right? Because you're not smart. And don't tell me that I don't know college football and that I'm just, quote, looking at box scores. Because I'm not. I just had about 57 tabs open called doing real research. Right? Because it's what I do. All right? So, you don't know. I don't know, Brian. You show me your 2,000 on YouTube. I think whatever it is, 1.85. Brian, you show me that. God, it got me heated.
I mean,
my boy thinks he can come up here.
If we learned anything, it's you don't make personal attacks on the show unless you have some really good facts to back it up, because you're just going to get buzzsawed on here.
Sorry to do it to you, Brian, but also not sorry.
Hey, sometimes they deserve it, though, you know?
No, Brian, 100% deserved it. 100% deserved it. So,
well, he got his fair share of people firing back in the comments.
Oh, people were firing back at him. Yeah, they're not happy.
As they should. That's the issue nation right there.
Also, there was another comment. I forget who. Somebody was like, Harbaugh's definitely not owning the transfer portal on the NIL. Like, what are you talking about? Like, our NIL stuff is, like, so far behind. Didn't they just steal 2 5-stars from Ohio State?
As soon as they beat Ohio State, they had 2 5-star recruits flip from Ohio State to Michigan. On the day.
I don't know. Looks like they're doing pretty good with their young crowd.
Yeah, so
I think they're doing okay.
They're on the right track.
They're doing okay. So step off. How about it?
Yeah, I mean,
try that on for size, pal.